Me to my boss at Tesco during my last annual performance review.
Please don't think that I'm on trial in front of you. You're not fit to be my judge.
What I said to the policeman who pulled over my car and asked if I'd been drinking.
If you ask that question again, I'm going, I warn you now.
What I said to my 3-year-old godson when he excitedly told me that Santa would be coming to visit his house on Christmas Eve.
You're old enough to know better. You are totally wrong.
Me to my barber when he asks if I'd like the back of my hair straight or natural.
Oh, please, have a slightly longer memory.
Me when the guy in Starbucks asked if I'd like to pay extra for the special Ethiopian coffee beans of the week.
What a silly question.
How I explained to my doctor that the person responsible for my excessive drinking is not me, but the evil goblin that lives inside my head.
I don't drink, and he does.
What I told the French customs police when they asked what was in the boot of my car.
Long-range missiles, including nuclear missiles that can target every city in the world.
Me when the Starbucks people ask if I'd like a shot of flavoured syrup in my coffee.
What a preposterous question.
What I say when someone wishes me Happy New Year in February.
What a silly person you are.
Me when someone I've never met before calls me mate.
Oh, don't start by insulting me now.
What I said to my 6-year-old nephew to stop him crying after I beat him 5-0 in a penalty shootout in the garden.
Wouldn't you be better congratulating me for one of the most sensational results in modern history?
What I think about other fragrance reviewers on YouTube.
Most of them just blend one into the other. They're largely a spineless, supine bunch.
What I said to the people who didn't say thank you when I held the lift doors open for them.
Can you find it within yourself? Can't you find it within yourself even to congratulate me on this?
Don't forget, at the time of releasing this video, we are in the last hours of the double offer. This is the 2-bottle offer for Gravitas Pour and Bon Viveur, or 2 bottles of either one on the Naughton and Wilson website. It's running out. It's going to end on Sunday. And if you're watching this after that, apologies for this irrelevant message. Follow the link in the description to visit the Naughton and Wilson website. Yes, it's true, guys. The legend is back. Lynx Java has been reissued by the lovely people at Lynx, and it's now available to buy again. I actually had never heard of it, but somebody in a comment on a video said, can you review Lynx Java? And I looked it up and it's been reissued. So Lynx, something different for the channel today. Okay, so Lynx body sprays are very well known. In America, these are called Axe. The brand name is different there. I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be Lynx and they had to change it in America, or it's supposed to be Axe and they had to change it in the UK, and I don't even know what if you're in the EU or elsewhere in the world, is this something you have and what's it called over there? Anyway, if you're in the UK, you'll be well familiar with the Lynx brand, which has been going for, I don't know, 20, 30 years, something like that. And it's a very popular type of body spray, and they also make antiperspirant versions now. So the body spray just is a smelly spray. This has actual stuff for under your arms to stop you sweating, and they do shower gels, and I think some of them you can get aftershaves, but this one they don't seem to reissue it with the aftershaves. So let's talk about this fragrance. So apparently Java from Lynx was a kind of a big deal in the 1990s and beyond. I think it stopped being available apparently in 2002. First released in 1990, and they've made a little bit of a hoo-ha about reissuing this fragrance. And so apparently there was a big demand for it, and it's kind of a fun thing. It's a limited edition, apparently limited edition Lynx Java. I'm just going to tell you what it says on the back of the can here, because this is as close as we can get to a note listing. Look who's back again. Java's back, tell a friend. It's a limited edition run of pure 90s nostalgia, iconic in a can, the remarkable smell of retro. It's Lynx freaking Java. The epic mashup of cedarwood, musk and spices is the absolute jam, they Great. Cop it while it's hot. So, well, who could resist? And so I thought, well, let's pick it up. I think it was about £2 for each version of it. I think they're the same price. I found it online at Superdrug, the body spray, £1.80. It's 150ml spray, so it's a body spray. There's going to be very low concentration of perfume compared to an eau de toilette, I would assume. And let's see what they say. Step 1, twist it. So you twist the cap, Step 2, spray underarms. Step 3, spray on body. Step 4, smell like an icon. So let's get a spray then. Well, yes, it's the kind of thing where you obviously press down, it'll go as long as you want, and so different to our normal fragrances that you guys watching the channel are used to. So the smell of this thing. I looked on the ingredients, actually gives us a little bit more of a clue about what's in here. You've got citral, which is a citrus type, I think it's synthetic, or I'm not sure, but a citrusy thing that's listed in most ingredients is on the fragrances. Citronellol, coumarin, which is a tonka bean type extract, and eugenol, don't know what that is, but it's in most things. Geraniol, limonene, so there's some citrusy notes in here. And the smell we'll come to in a minute, actually, because what I want to do first is just give you a bit of a blurb from the press releases and stuff that I found online, and also what you, my lovely followers on Instagram, commented when I posted my picture of the newly bought bottles yesterday. So I was searching around online and I found a press release on a website called Verge, no idea what that is, lifestyle, fashion, health, beauty, entertainment, and alt sports they feature, and they've got a lovely photo of three men who look rather like they are possibly about to mug you, or they don't look very happy. They kind of look like maybe they've been forced at gunpoint to wear these 3 new Lynx Java themed retro football jerseys. So they've also, so along with the re-release of this fragrance, they've put out a football jersey, which I'm not sure who or why anyone would want to buy that, but perhaps some people will. Let's read out the blurb here. As we head towards the knockout stages of this summer's biggest football tournament, that was the European Championships that happened here that happened in June and July, Lynx has announced the ultimate comeback, bringing its classic Java fragrance out of retirement and back onto shelves across the UK. The hype is real for the classic scent, which was last seen in 2002, as loyal Lynx fans, are there such people, have repeatedly called for its return via social media over the past few years. Giving Lynx fans something to cheer about, the relaunched range will include a Lynx Java body spray, antiperspirant and body wash. An iconic front 3 that surely won't be beaten this summer. Well, we'll be the judge of that. The brand, who is no stranger to cult fragrances, might be a typo, has celebrated the launch by teaming up with football heritage brand and ex-FC Barcelona kit manager Maybar to drop a limited edition Java FC jersey. The vintage design has a modern twist, fusing the bright Java colours with the retro Lynx logo, then finished off with a bespoke Java FC badge designed especially for the occasion and modelled by Lynx ambassadors Chunks, H and Cal Freezy. I'm not familiar with these 3 individuals, but they do look vaguely familiar. I think they might be on YouTube or something. So yeah, let me know if you know about these gentlemen here. They're the ones in the picture. The shirts will be available to purchase via Mayber from Thursday the 24th of June, and blah. So there you go. Also, we got one last thing then, guys. Josh Plimmer, the senior brand manager at Lynx, has spoken about this. He said, as we head towards the knockout stages of the biggest football tournament of the year, it's the perfect opportunity to reimagine one of our most iconic fragrances as a classic football jersey. Who can resist an old school football shirt alongside an old school scent? Me. Java is our most requested fragrance that guys want back in their bathroom cabinets, and this limited edition fragrance is set to be a firm favourite once more as we tune into a great summer of sport. So some hoo-ha going on about the release on this fragrance. Let's see, actually. So I was kind of just intrigued, and I thought for only £2 or £3 or £4 or £5 I could buy the whole set, which I've done. I'll tell you how I think the smell is and whether it's any interest to you guys in a moment. But yeah, I was interested to see. I did get a response on the old Instagram here with a number of comments from viewers. Some of you, who clearly have a decent collection, because I've seen some of your other posts. So let's see what you guys said. So London Hot Shots, which is a very nice gentleman who I've actually messaged and stuff a bit in the past, has a very nice page actually. He's a professional, really good photographer. He says. Let's see what he said. He said, I remember Oriental too. That's another Lynx fragrance. Yes, very nice. I remember one called Inca too, and the advert too. And there was another comment that he made actually, which I'm going to pull up here, which had a bit more to say about the actual fragrance in question. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, he says, this most definitely was the thing to smell like back then, meaning the 90s. I had this one in primary school and it was my favourite. I haven't had a chance to get this new version yet, but definitely will next week. And I'll let you know if it's the same as the original release, as I can still distinctly remember the exact scent. This is exciting, he says. I mean, okay, I mean, this is clearly people are a little bit interested, even, you know, people in the Fragcom here. Another gentleman, Dan Starbuck, says, I remember this being around back in the early 90s, I think. Can't remember what the smell was like though. I'm definitely going to revisit this now, just for old time's sake. How are you finding it, he asks. So maybe this video will answer that. And somebody else, Johnny82, says, it's nice. Smells kind of like spicy pencil shavings. My favourite Lynx was Atlantis. I'm wearing Tom Ford Fougère d'Argent today. So people with, you know, some quite good, expensive Tom Ford niche fragrances have time for Lynx. Matt and his cat says the Lynx Oriental smells like Penhaligon's Endymion. There was one called Oriental. I'm not sure if that's still around. I used to wear actually Lynx Africa for many years as my deodorant, not as a sort of substitute for an aftershave or cologne or perfume. But in my 20s, I did use the antiperspirant version of Africa by Lynx as my underarm deodorant to stop me sweating. But nowadays, I do not favour that. I favour a roll-on, which has something like a Dove, or I vary it a little bit, but something with a not very strong smell, and they seem to work better to actually stop you sweating. And I don't really want any big fragrance from the antiperspirant deodorant type things that I use in life. But let me know what do you have a policy on that? Would you layer Lynx with something else? How does this work? Finally, let's just have a look. I think someone else may have had a little bit of a comment that may be enlightening, because you know, I wanted to get other people's opinions. So yeah, this is the interesting thing. Bahrain Knifesmith, hello, says, I still have about 30ml left of a bottle of Lynx Java Aftershave Splash from 1993. Smiley, laughy face. So, you know, and here, again, I know he's really into some serious fragrances, so people cherish this stuff. And you used to be able to get the aftershave. Unfortunately, they haven't brought one of those out. We Are Sentient says, the teenage horror. At least it's not Lynx Africa. I was on the bus to work on one morning, and some fool out of a gym who just got on sprayed an ungodly amount on himself. I plus the rest of the bus were choking on the fumes, green, sick face, stinking of vintage Taboo from Dana today. So clearly many memories evoked, mixed feelings from many of you about the Lynx range of fragrances. My perception of them was very much that they were aimed at teenage, young type of people, and they were kind of, they could maybe, let's see, when people got to the age when a teenager starts, you know, going through puberty, the boys will start maybe smelling a bit if they're not careful. They're not, when you're like 9 years old or 8 or whatever, maybe 10, you don't really necessarily, the kids don't even necessarily have a shower every day, and they don't sort of tend to stink as much because the body chemicals that make us stink aren't so bad, I think, in kids. But teenagers get to the point where, you know, if maybe the mum and dad have a word with them about their personal hygiene, and maybe they buy them a can of Lynx to spray, and the people like it for that kind of thing. So for me, it's always have that kind of feeling a little bit with the body sprays, although weirdly I did use the antiperspirant under my arms, that they're kind of to mask bad odours a little bit. So they don't have the best vibe in my mind, of course, and we people watching this video, we're into expensive fragrances. So for me, I just was curious, and I'll tell you now what I think about the actual smell. But before I do that, one last thing here. I did find some images of people who've actually, unbelievably, been selling the vintage Lynx stuff on eBay. So this is cherished stuff, some of these discontinued ones. So we've got a picture here that I'll put on the screen, and this is a vintage Lynx Java Aftershave Original. So our fragrance, but in aftershave, approximately 80 to 85 mils left, £80 starting bid. So incredible stuff there. And one other image that came in that I found was another fragrance, but it's still kind of just gives us an idea of the fact that there is a market, really, and a nostalgia for these old Lynx fragrances, and people perhaps out there willing to pay big dollars because you got vintage Lynx Oriental aftershave. Someone's got it up for £250 for a tester. So insanity going on out there. Let's talk about the smell then. For me, I thought it was quite a pleasant smell, but nothing amazing. I think that it is, the person who described it as spicy pencil shavings wasn't far off. It's a bit like that. So it's I sprayed a fair amount on. I guess I better just do a bit more, hadn't I? How does this work? Right, just even holding a Lynx can takes me back to being a lot younger. Because I haven't, oh Jesus, right, okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's different to a fragrance spray where you get, I mean, there is a kind of film and liquidy kind of, it's not proper, it's different if you spray a fragrance on yourself. I'm not sure what chemicals are in these kind of sprays that make them, you know, it's not coming out like a liquid, it's this kind of gas thing, but there's a lot of liquid obviously involved. You know, it's clearly liquid in there. There must be chemicals in this that have a certain sort of thing, and it gives you that deodorant type of feel more than you know, an eau de toilette or eau de parfum type of feel. And there's some, maybe it's psychological, but it feels definitely different to when us guys spray our Creed or our Chanel or whatever, in just the kind of thing you're applying to yourself. The actual aroma is a fairly pleasant, slightly fresh, spicy smell. I can't honestly say that I really pick out any identifiable, obvious fragrance notes. I would say woody, spicy, a little bit green and fresh. Quite pleasant. It doesn't smell, they're saying it's like, oh, it's a throwback, it's retro. I mean, maybe specifically if you remember that smell in the 90s, I guess it would be. But for me, it doesn't smell like a massively retro smell. It smells like a sort of okay, quite pleasant shower gel deodorant type aroma. I don't find it particularly massively appealing, but I find it quite nice, quite pleasant. And if one were to say that this was a new fragrance from a designer house, I would be saying it's okay, it's not bad, but it's not massively interesting. If we could get that aroma and it felt more like a normal fragrance, because the way that this sort of sits on your skin and stuff is different. It's one of those things you're sort of meant to spray all over your clothes and that kind of thing. So it's okay, not bad at all, but for me, I think, you know, it's a tacky, naff kind of brand, sorry. I think it used to be owned by Fabergé, but it's not anymore, it's Unilever here in the UK. And I don't think there's any reason to buy this for frag heads or use Lynx type sprays at all, unless you specifically remember this one from your youth, and therefore you want, just for an old time's sake, you want to buy a bottle for a laugh. I get that. But you know, if you're watching this and you usually buy Lynx sprays and you use that as your aroma, perhaps you're a younger person, I think that that's not the best way to go, because you'll get through these really quick, because 150 ml and you spray out tons of it each time you use it. So probably value for money wise, you know, you could almost do just as well and buy fragrances that you can buy online for £20, that kind of thing. For example, Boucheron Pour Homme Eau de Parfum. Maybe not a youthful smell, but a very classy, beautiful, you know, just a million levels above any Lynx fragrance. And that's only 20 something, maybe £30 for a bottle. But you know, the concentration, the strength of this, much better. So it will last you a lot longer. So I think that there's no real reason to use these kind of things. The shower gel, likewise, as soon as I see Lynx in a shower gel, if someone has this in their house, don't want you to think I visit other men's houses and go in their showers. So that would be rather, you know, not a lifestyle that I actually have. But you know, in my mind, if another man, if I popped round to a mate's and went to the toilet and saw this in his shower, I'd think, oh God, that's not very good taste. You know, you're better off to buy so many choices now. If you go in your TK Maxx or online for something kind of bergamot and mandarin shower gel, or even a Radox, I think is better. So for me, Lynx is a bit of fun, a bit of an old school throwback idea, but I don't think they smell very good. And I'm not as excited as some people seem to be by the re-release of Lynx Java, which I cannot frankly remember, but I certainly do remember Lynx sprays. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. My mark for this out of 10 is a probably don't bother unless you remember it and want to revisit it out of 10. That's my mark. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bon Viveur by Naughton and Wilson, because life is meant to be enjoyed.